You guys ever mixed anything with wine? I don't think I've ever tried a wine mix before.
Have you ever had sangria?
Yeah,
That's a good
there
point.
you go.
I feel like that's mixing stuff with wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Or
funny.
a spritzer? What about a spritzer?
I'm not a big spritzer person. It was like Aperol spritz. What's an Aperol spritz?
Yeah.
Don't say Aperol.
It's Aperol.
Well, Aperol.
Yeah. I think Aperol's in
It's
there.
like the main ingredient is Aperol. Yeah, every once in a while, if the wine's really bad, I'll throw some ice in there to kind of water it down.
If it's warm.
Yeah, it is technically a mix.
At one point, I had tried a glass of bubbles, and we put a popsicle in there. Oh, you know what it was? It was you ever had Moe Ice? It's a champagne that's kind of built to be, a little sweeter. It was actually built to be drank outside in the sun with a little ice in there to free it up a little bit. So instead of ice, they gave us popsicles, just kind of swirl around in there. And that was actually pretty awesome, I will say.
That sounds delightful.
It does.
Yeah.
I have like some memories of sherbet dropped in bubbly wine at some point to make some sherbet punch.
I'd also probably mention the mimosa, pretty classic mix in the
that's solid.
wine.
Yes.
Okay. So, but I'm just thinking, listen to all these things, and all of these are like sweeter, fruitier mixes, and so we're gonna spice it up today. We're gonna have some spicy rosé. Let's get into it. Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
2 pink wines from France.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Aaron here, and I am so excited to not be joined just by 2 of my good buddies today, Joel and Colin, but 3 because they were also visited by our first return guest. If you're a longtime listener, you may remember him from our freak show review. He lives on the cutting edge of what is trendy in the world of wine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back our good old buddy Mike. Welcome back to the show, friend.
Hi, guys. What's going on?
How have you been?
I've been great. I've been enjoying life and stuff.
Good.
We are so excited to have you to try the chicken wine again. We're going to give it another shot today. And, if it's great, we're hoping that you're going to help us make it better today by introducing some jalapeno to it. And if it's as bland as we remember, maybe the jalapeno is just exactly what the chicken wine needs.
Might be the saving grace.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm excited at a little redemption show. This is our first redemption show too. We're bringing back our first guest for our first redemption show. I feel like, for our...
It's not your redemption though, Mike. You did great on the first
show.
Sure. Let's just get that clear.
Nice. I'm not hurt. It's okay.
You can just really bring it this time. That'd be great. Okay. Just
I'll try. I'll try a little bit harder.
Okay, great. Thank you. We're all on the same page. No. Hey, why we're redeeming the chicken wine as our first redemption wine, I think we should talk about. I am interested, but man, there's a couple in my mind that we could go back to here. So hopefully we have some more redemption shows ahead of us.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because this is, for the folks that follow the wine internet, like there have been so many people just talking about the quality and the value of the chicken wine. Yeah. And we've been to the point that we have to come back. And it's not the first time. We've definitely had a few where we've kind of ragged on a couple wines. And then before people listen to the episode, they're like, oh, it's one of my favorites. Can't wait to listen. And then they listen to the episode and we never hear from them again.
That'll happen.
So we are hoping it's a spicy episode in store. We're going to play a little pick your poison. Mike's going to walk us through making the perfect jalapeno rosé. And then we're going to dig into the chicken wine, and we're also going to do a little compare and contrast with another surprise wine we found. So before we get into all that exciting stuff, Joel, chicken wine, what's it actually called?
Yeah, let's talk about what these things actually are. So the first one that we're going to try, this is our big redemption wine here, y'all, is the La Vieille Ferme Rosé, otherwise known as the chicken wine. So the information we have on this wine is it's a 2023 Rhone blend. Not a lot of information on exactly what the blend is. This is 12.5% ABV. And the fun thing is we picked this up from Total Wine for somewhere between $8 and $12, depending on if you're purchasing this in Orlando, New Jersey, or New Hampshire. So that is our chicken wine. The second wine here, and we're going to have Aaron explain how we really kind of got into this wine today. But the second wine that we will affectionately call the Fox wine is actually the La Belleville de Bois Rosé. And this is a rosé blend from Vin de France. And this is a 11% ABV. We picked this one up for, if you can believe this, somewhere between $5 and $8, depending on where you purchase this bottle of wine. So, Aaron, interesting. I know we're doing the redemption of the chicken wine. Why did this Fox wine make its way into our show today?
So, like, real quick, funny story. I'm at Total Wine. I'm grabbing the chicken wine as part of our redemption episode. And this gentleman comes walking up to me very quickly. And he's like, everyone's buying that wine. You know, that wine is everywhere. It can't possibly be as good as they say it is anymore. You can go to Costco and you can see pallets of it. And, you know, he's talking very, you know, what would make sense compared to a lot of things we've talked about on the show.
Sure.
Just the sheer, like, mass production of the wine has resulted in it, you know, probably having an impact on quality. And he's like, there's so many good small wineries and estates that still make wine. And he walks over and he hands me this wine,
Belleville de Bois.
Belleville de Bois. And he's like, look, this is a small wine company. He's holding them up. He's showing me the color difference. He's like, try this one. And I'm like looking at it and it's like $5. $8. And so I'm like, you know what? It's not like he's trying to upsell me. He's actually somehow magically downselling me from the chicken wine. So maybe he knows something. Yeah. Now, concerningly, since then, I've tried to find some stuff about it. They have no website. They have no Instagram, which maybe because they're just a very old, like, you know, winery. I don't know. All I could find about them is they're part of a portfolio of like a very large importer, which again, may be a bad thing, or it may just be, again, part of just a larger portfolio and whatever. But, you know, we've talked about how, like, the bottle is not very specific. It seems to be a non-vintage, there's no year on it. You know, it's Vin de France. It's not from a specific region. So, you know, it's rosé blend. It doesn't have specific grapes. So there's some relatively large red flags here that I wasn't noticing when the gentleman at Total Wine was walking me up and down the aisles yelling about the state of the world. But I figured we'd give it a shot. And the thing to me that made it the most interesting, though, and I'll hold up both bottles, and I'm sure Colin will do a very intentional graphic during edit. But so we have the chicken wine, and this mascot are two foxes. But the thing that I found the most interesting is that the foxes and the chickens, foxes and chickens, are in the same positioning.
Yeah.
And there's just so many similarities between the way that the label is set up and the positioning of the animal mascots. So I thought chicken versus fox would be an interesting take. See if this guy knows his stuff. Maybe the fox is a diamond in the rough for like $3 cheaper on average. But that has to be intentional, right? Like that can't just be that can't be accidental.
Seems kind of foxy, some kind of foxy trick.
Hey. Yeah,
or
it
has like a very Da Vinci Code, like it's all connected, some sort of thing in the background, and
we're looking at like the map. We got to find it.
Maybe that's what it is. Push them together, and it will form a tableau.
I mean,
that will have on the back.
Tale as old as time. Foxes versus chickens. So I'm excited to try that. Unfortunately, Mike couldn't grab it. It's not in New Hampshire yet. So again, like maybe smaller, but I'm curious to see if there's a difference there in a good way.
Let's figure it out.
So that's why we have chickens and foxes and jalapenos. It's just a whole, you know, farm of just things happening on our show today.
Unbelievable. Right,
fantastic.
It should be good.
It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. We're gonna learn some things. We're either gonna learn how to make things better or learn what to avoid.
Can we make that the advertisement for this week's episode? Just nothing but Colin going, it should be good.
We promise that you will leave this show knowing something that you did not know previously, probably.
Yeah,
That's fair. I like that.
probably maybe.
I like
Perfect.
that.
So before we get into all this wine and all this stuff, let's play a game.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
All right. So today
I like games.
we are going to play Pick Your Poison. So for folks who are joining us for the first time, Pick Your Poison is pretty much, would you rather, except with a fun wine twist to it, where we're going to ask, would you rather X or Y? And you have to pick one. So I'll start for the first one. And Mike, since you are our illustrious guest, I'll give you first go at it.
Sweet.
All right. Your two choices are you can only drink champagne or any other sparkling wine, but never champagne.
Ooh. I think I'd go champagne. I'll go champagne forever. And then I'll play champagne and it'll be great. Do I get all the champagne that I want or...
No, your budget stays the same, so you're just like,
oh, that sucks. Okay. I didn't realize.
That is a key differentiator.
Yeah,
no, that makes a huge
rats. Now I'm still okay. Well, I'll have a couple bottles of champagne.
Colin, Joel.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm champagne all the way. I think I'm going to drink the best instead of the rest here. Even with the limited budget, I would say I'd still rather drink only champagne. Although, I love cava. There's some awesome California sparkling wine, but champagne's king. So I think I'm sticking with the king.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked here. I thought I was going to be alone in this, but I am also going champagne. The reason being, I mean, we've had a cava, we've had a cremant, I believe, on this show, and then we had that champagne that just knocked our socks off. And yeah, I mean, that wasn't even like top tier champagne. I can only imagine what that would be like, and I'm looking forward to trying it. Second reason is because then I can confidently say I'm drinking champagne and never have to worry that I'm actually drinking a sparkling wine, and be that guy.
For sure.
So
That's
totally
really
safe.
good. 100%.
You guys are all bougie.
That's a quality reason.
I'm going to be the loner on this one. I'll say bye to champagne, and I'll drink all the interesting cremants and cavas and all the sparkling wine from California. There's just so much more out there.
I understand that
Absolutely.
answer for sure. Yeah.
There has to be one.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I'll be sad in the future when we're all sitting around and you guys are all popping champagne. I'm in the corner with my Prosecco and be like, well, this is good too.
Yeah.
Fair. All right, Colin, what do you have for us? What is your Pick Your Poison?
All right, so this one's not wine related, but would you rather be able to fly, but only fly at the speed you're able to currently walk? Or would you rather continue walking, but you can walk at the speed you would usually fly at? So think on a plane or something.
Very fast. Okay.
Very fast walking or very slow flying is basically what it boils down to.
I'll go with the flying. I think flying would be cool. I'd rather fly slow than not fly at all. I think I have like the fear, if you guys ever watched The Boys, of accidentally walking through someone because I'm not paying attention. So I'm going to go with flying. I'll probably fly myself into the side of a building slowly, but flying for me.
Yeah. See, it's funny because I was going to say flying at walking speed as well, because my ass is tripping on stuff all the time anyway, just walking at walking speed. So speeding that up, I don't think I could handle it. And if I could fly, nothing says I can't be flying and just chilling up there, looking at everything, right? So I'll just be the guy that's like floating around all the time. Keep an eye on down there.
Yeah, no, that was my idea too. Just like you're just a guy just floating a little bit above the sidewalk. You're above all the traffic. You're above other people walking at the same speed. So you just kind of imagine all the time that would save.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the other route. I want to speed walk with my hips flying down the freeway.
Just cruising.
Just like just like, hey, you know what? I'm heading down to Florida today.
That would be cool. Okay, I have one. Going back to more of a wine related question. Would you rather one bottle a month of just the most mind-blowing wine, like top tier, every single time you have a bottle of wine, it's an experience, but you can only have one bottle every month, 12 bottles of wine a year, okay? Or live in a world of unlimited wine, but you know you're never going to get above like a kitchen table wine. You're never going to experience anything truly, mind blowing. It'll just be something that's like, okay, this is
Good.
fine. Yeah.
Ooh,
Mm.
that's tough.
That's tough.
Although I'd hate to quit the podcast, which at 12 bottles of wine a year you have
Podcast
to.
exclusive.
I mean,
Yeah.
but I think if I'm going with champagne, the reason I picked that is
Yeah.
champagne's the king. So
It
I'm
is
gonna
kind of a
have to,
similar idea.
yeah, have to
Mhm.
pick the one mind-blowing bottle of wine. I mean, if it's that great of an experience, I could probably deal with only 12 of those and only have those 12 a year. So I think I'm going best wine I've ever had each month.
Okay.
Yeah, my mind shifted on this when we first thought about this question. I was going to go with the many good bottles under the idea of like, look, we found plenty of good bottles, keep me happy. But now I'm going to turn this into like an event. Like once a month, we're going to open this bottle and people are going to come over. And that's kind of what wine community is all about, right? I'm going to put something out there and I'm going to guarantee that this is like one of the best bottles of wine. I feel like, just like the social aspect of that and the community aspect of that would make it worth it for me to just drink bourbon for the rest of the month. Loophole.
If
Loophole.
you only get one bottle of wine, though,
That
how
seems
many
fair.
people are you sharing that with?
That's a good point.
Two very lucky people.
Okay. That's still like
That
what?
seems
Very
fair.
Glass,
Yeah.
Very
glass and a
small
half,
glasses.
maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair.
Interesting. Mike, what do you think, buddy?
That's a tough one. That makes me feel like this would be great if I didn't have a water supply and I just had to drink wine all the time. I'd be like, unlimited wine.
Yeah.
You took this from a survival standpoint.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with survival. Survival. I'm gonna say we're gonna drink sterile wine all the time.
It's like, this is not about just what wine I could drink. It's about like a level of calories that I can always guarantee to my body. I will never die.
Survival. I understand. You know what's funny?
Twist.
Mike, you and I have been very aligned in our thinking on this whole game because even though it's along the similar lines of our champagne conversation, but I'm gonna go unlimited kitchen table because in my mind, there's too many experiences, too many awesome things to eat, too many things to do in a given month to where I want accessible. I want different styles, different varieties. I can find the fun in that and we'll forego the mind-blowing experience here and there.
This is a tough one. All right, these are good ones.
These are
I
good
like
questions.
this.
Mike,
Yeah.
do you have one? Do you ever pick your poison?
Yeah.
Would you rather?
Yeah. I do. Yep. So if you had to choose between having apples or oranges and all of the things that come from them, so ciders and apple juices or whatever comes from oranges, what would you choose? Which would you take?
Oranges all day long.
Oh,
I don't like apples as is. The only thing that delayed me for a moment, I was like, oh shoot, ciders. I do love a cider, but I actually hate apples. I hate apples. I hate apple picking. Yeah, not a fan.
Okay.
I'll go oranges.
Apples?
Oranges.
That's weirdly
Orange
hot
juice,
take.
mimosas, like oranges all day
I
long.
can I throw out that Aaron is from a place where there are so many apples, and that's like our whole culture is like, hey, guess what? We have apples and we love them.
That is,
God, I
I've
hate
just
it.
never heard somebody
That's
say
wild.
I hate apples. That's that's super weird, dude.
It's a wild take.
Dude, we get around that time of year, and my wife's always like, "We're gonna take the boys apple picking because they love it," and I'm like, "I know, we're gonna go walk around an orchard for 45 minutes." While our
Well, that
kids
sounds
take one
awful.
bite of an apple and drop it on the ground, and then we have to feel bad about that because you're not supposed to do that. But then the cidery, which
That
is a
sounds like
new
a
kind of
terrible
cultural
experience.
thing that's kind of popped up, is
Yeah.
kind of excellent. So that's my one hesitation. But I would rather say bye to the cidery than say bye to mimosas for the rest of my life, which is the choice you're about to make.
Yeah. No. Well, Aaron's wrong. Apples is, it's really
100%.
it's like the fact he went oranges
This
is
is an
so
opinion
cliche.
game.
No,
This
it's
is a personal preference game. There's no
Yeah.
right or wrong.
Yeah, but you're wrong. No,
There
it's
is on this
apples.
one.
Apples
Yeah.
100%. I mean, just all of the things. Apple pie gone. Like, you gonna take away my apple pie? I
Don't like
so.
it.
What? You don't? All right.
Let me be. Look, I was brave and stepped out first. I stepped into the minefield.
I'm disgusted. I'm saddened. I'm disappointed by this conversation. Apples all day.
Yeah.
Let's take this opportunity also to introduce our new sponsor, Macintosh Apple. I was saving this to tell you guys at the end of the pod, but I'll go ahead and say it now. Macintosh apples. Get your apples from Macintosh.
All right, so we talked about it. We learned some things about each other. We're all either much closer now or much farther apart. Let's come back together and see if we can get some consensus on the chicken wine.
Tastes like wine.
Let's do it.
So what we're going to do is we do have Mike here to introduce us to the jalapenos. We're going to start by tasting the chicken wine so that our taste buds aren't totally blown up from the jalapenos, and then we're going to add the jalapenos in, and then maybe we'll use the fox wine to kind of bring ourselves back down. Let's pour them out. Really, get our noses in there. See if redemption is spelled Ferme. All right. What are y'all getting on the nose?
I am surprisingly getting more than I remembered getting the first time. I will tell you that much. I'm getting a little bit of like some red fruit in there, some strawberry is probably the biggest thing poking out of there. A little bit of that honeysuckle, but really the strawberry is the biggest thing I'm getting.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's still not terribly complex. It's strawberries, a little bit of raspberry, if I were to pick out another fruit, but it's definitely red fruit. And then, yeah, a little bit of floralness. I like that call. Just a tiny bit, though. Again, it's not very expressive.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a floral smell. I don't know if I could pick out honey, though I do have to say, I was on a hike with some little kids, and a kid took a honeysuckle berry and ate it, and I had to call poison control and then tell his mom that he ate a honeysuckle berry. So next time you're in the forest, don't eat a honeysuckle berry.
That's
but
terrifying.
I'm getting honeysuckle berry out of here.
You know what it probably is too, Mike, is like there's probably 10 scents that in my head it triggers honeysuckle, 9 of them being wrong. So yeah, I generalize a lot of things.
No, I love it. No, it's good.
I also get a surprising amount of alcohol on the nose. I don't know if anybody else is getting it. And it's like the smell of alcohol. It's not the burn of alcohol. It doesn't really burn, but there's like this not very nice smell that's in there. And maybe it's not alcohol, but it kind of reminds me of the smell of alcohol without the burn.
I focus on it. I think I can pick up what you're saying, but it didn't, to be fair, it didn't jump out to me and distract me from a couple of good notes in there too.
I have to say, despite like all the leaning in we're doing and looking for more complex smells than we got the first time, it is still a very light smeller overall. It is not, and that is not, and I want to name like that's not necessarily a rosé thing. It's not because it's rosé. It's not because it's a light wine. Like we've had some really awesome rosés on the show, just in our experiences that are very complex and thoughtful. And this is a light smelling wine. So let's taste it and see where we get.
Yeah.
See if there's a big change in our experiences. Let me jump in because I was offended in the grocery store challenge. I was offended because everyone named that this was not offensive. And the general argument was like, it's watery, there's no taste at all, and therefore we're going to drain it. And I don't know after a year of doing this, that is like where our drain standard is anymore, because it's not offensive. And it is a cheap $10 wine. That being said, now that
don't try to influence my review yet here, buddy. Okay.
No. Well, what I'm going to say is, sorry, this is my long lead-in of saying, now that I have had the joy of drinking wine with you gentlemen for a year, I would definitely say that I am probably less of a defender of this wine than I was a year ago. Now that I've experienced more complex rosés for around the same price range. So I'm just going to say that, like it is very thin tasting. I'll let you guys do more of the complex tasting notes, but it is thin.
I don't know that there's a whole heck of a lot of complex tasting notes to extract from this baby. I will say,
good point.
At least from the times that we've looked back on it, because this has been one where we go back, we harp on it a little bit. In my head, it's been even thinner than what this is. There's a little bit more flavor here than I was giving it credit for. So I will admit that, but still not much going on. I'm not changing that aspect of my review.
I think it's like the thing you'd be like, yay, about this wine is that it is not offensive in any way. And you could just be like,
At $7.
here, Nana, do you want some rosé?
Yeah.
There you go.
True.
It's
True.
you know, it's hot. It's like 1,000 degrees outside. Do you want some rosé? And pour it to all the nanas.
It's a
Yeah.
fair
And anybody.
call out. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's about as uninteresting as I remember. It's maybe a tad bit more flavorful, like Joel said. The way I remember it was like absolutely
Water.
absolutely flavorless. There's just not a lot going on. It's just you get a pop of the fruit on the palate is even less identifiable than it is on the nose. So it's just a pop of red fruit.
Yeah.
The finish isn't great. It goes away really quick, but what's there is not terribly enjoyable. So, it's slightly better than I remember. I'll give it that, but still not.
There's a weird thing I want to call out here too that I didn't really remember, which is, to me, it's not very acidic, but there's like a little bit of an acid kick. And weirdly, let me know if this makes any sense, but it's happening at the wrong time in the sip. Like, it's like, I want the acid, up front probably would be ideal. And to me, it's weirdly like it's kicking my taste buds in the middle of the sip. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's just oddly placed.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but it's also strangely flabby. Like I wish there was more
Rude thing to
acidity.
say about someone.
What's the line? But
Did you say it was flabby?
flabby?
Strangely
Yeah.
flabby.
Strangely
Yeah.
flabby.
Flabby.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So meaning
Can you?
meaning there's not what Joel said. It's weird acid. There's not really enough acid throughout the whole sip to balance out whatever other elements are in there. So, really was hoping for more acid actually up front because it's a little weird and heavy.
Yeah.
And then you get that strange acidy pop, but it doesn't really carry throughout. So it's a little unbalanced up front and it gets a little bit better, but then it kind of trails off at the end.
And then it's gone.
Yep.
And then it's gone.
So I'm gonna, because we have so much in the show today, I'm gonna kind of push us forward a little bit in a way that we don't usually do. Let's very quickly kind of name where we're thinking about this wine, and then let's quickly take a sip of the Fox wine and kind of see if that comparison balance lands, and see if that helps us at all. And then Mike's gonna help us save what I'm assuming is both these wines. So I think one thing we've talked about a lot over the past year is wine has a purpose sometimes. And I will say this is not the rosé that I will go to if I want to drink a rosé. But if I have to grab a couple affordable bottles for a barbecue and stick it on ice, or have, people are going to hang out, it is a porch pounder in a sense of this is a wine that I would absolutely drink when it's hot outside during a barbecue. It's not offensive. It's not going to upset anyone. And if I have to buy a bunch of rosé at a party, no one's going to complain about it. So I don't know. We had a different name for that. It's like a party wine. It's a barbecue wine.
This would be a great wine to have after you just did a run and you're like, whew, I'm really tired from my run. I need a nice glass of rosé.
I can
In
see
that
it
very
in that
specific situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you're working in a really hot kitchen and there's no water and you need something water adjacent to cool you down. Going back to that, the more I'm drinking this, and I think the more it's warming up, the more it's reminding me of the first time that we tried this.
Colin, you were shaking your head fervently when I said porch pounder. You're just not on
this
board.
This isn't a porch pounder. Porch pounders are bright and fun and acidic. This is not any of that.
So I was gonna say, if this had more acid in there, and at least a little bit more, even if your one flavor note is going to be strawberry and you're going to rock that strawberry, do it and have a little acid kick. Maybe you'll be in CPP territory.
Yeah, no, definitely
up your acid game, chicken wine. All right, we're going to try something. Since Mike doesn't have the Fox wine, this is what I like us all to do. Mike, I want you to watch all our faces, and we're gonna all smell and then sip the Fox wine, and I want you to watch our faces and see if you can see.
See if I can figure out what you're smelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Definitely. I could do that.
Just general disgust or joy. I have a bad feeling about this.
I'm seeing some confused faces. Yep. We're smelling forest floor.
I wish. That'd be lovely.
There was
Yeah, you know what? I mean,
it was
I don't really know what I'm smelling here because it's not, to me, it's not fruity.
Yeah.
a warm train station.
you know what?
it.
That's actually, you might have nailed it. That's pretty close.
All right, on the nose, what are we getting, guys?
I
It's
have
a weird
no,
smell.
I have
It's a
no
weird
idea,
smelling wine.
but it's awful. Like that's why warm train station actually kind of like
Something in there.
works here because it is really not nice smelling.
It almost reminds me of the Pinot Grigio you brought for the last Showdown challenge. Remember, we smelt it and we were like, "What is that smell?"
Yes,
And like we couldn't like land on it.
right.
It's like chemicals, right?
No, it's
like gross
just like an
earth.
odd
Spoiled earth is how I describe it.
moist,
Or just
it's
like
moist,
really uninteresting earth. Like the least interesting earth.
Just
Like
boring
dry Nevada, gravelly earth.
But it smells bad
You
to
know?
me. Like it's like
Yeah.
maybe if a
smells bad.
lizard took a turd on that uninteresting earth, that's
Oh,
what would be
God.
smelling.
All right,
Oh,
but
Louise.
I'll say
Perfect.
that, but let's take a sip.
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah,
say,
let's do it.
this is my immediate response, and you guys are better at this than me, was that the sip was better than the smell.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
The sip is better than the smell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
the sip is definitely a lot more flavorful than the chicken wine. There's a lot more going on than the chicken wine. I don't know if it's a good thing, but there's
I'm
more
at least
happening.
getting, I agree. I'm at least getting like some citrus at this point now when I'm drinking it.
But the finish on this wine is terrible. If there was no finish on the other wine, it just kind of dies. This finish is not good at all. The flavors are kind of an amalgamation of stuff. Like you can't really pick too much out except for the citrus. The acid is weirdly sour. This tastes like a $5 bottle of wine.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just nail it for us right now. The Total Wine guy steered me way wrong.
Way wrong.
We found the floor. The floor is the chicken wine. Don't go lower than the chicken wine. I think the gentleman was trying to maybe move these things off the shelf.
Did that guy actually work at Total Wine, or was he just like a patron who was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing here, but foxes are better than chickens," and then he like took off his coat and he was actually just 5 foxes.
Fox Wine guy hasn't worked here in 73 years.
I will say, go back to the chicken wine. The nose on that now is explosive compared to the other one. Like, it is delightful when you compare the two.
All right, folks, if you really want to enjoy the chicken wine, grab a real shit bottle of wine for $5. Drink that first, and then open the chicken wine, and it's like you won the lottery.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have another idea on how to enjoy the chicken wine.
Hit me.
You were talking about needing some more acid in it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where our jalapenos come in.
I am excited about
giving
it.
us
Come to save the day.
Yeah.
Another bite to add to our wines. I went down a little rabbit hole on the Tiki Talks, if you've ever heard of it.
I have. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
About adding jalapenos to rosé. There are so many different versions of what to do. Now, I know you guys have some jalapenos, right?
I do.
Can I see them? Bring them out.
Hold up your jalapenos.
I already sliced mine. Oh, so did Colin.
Do you know what I love to see?
What?
I love to see fresh jalapenos.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. For sure.
You don't have pickled jalapenos.
No,
there are some folks on the TikTok that are like, pickled jalapenos is the way to go. I disagree.
Totally.
You're not going to get the oil.
Jalapeno, but my gosh.
Oh, heck yeah.
My Lord.
Chuck it into my face. I love it, but not into my glass. Yeah. When you get your fresh jalapeno, you're going to get the oils from the skin, and you're going to get the oils from the seeds, which you're not going to get from your pickled jalapeno. Now, also, there's 2 different versions too you can try. You could freeze your jalapeno.
Ooh.
Oh, that might be nice.
And cool down your beverage even more.
Yeah. So you drop a couple in. Now you're not going to get that spice right away though. It's going to take a little while. Once the jalapenos warm up a little bit, then they're going to start to release more of the oils, more of the capsaicin, into your wine, and then you're going to start hitting those flavors.
That's fun.
And it's going to release that into your glass. You're going to get that more on the nose. You're going to get that more into your wine. Do you guys want to drop one in and give a little taste?
Do I need to slap it? Like you see the people at the cool cocktail bars, they slap the basil to release the oils and stuff. Do I do any of that, or what do you think?
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna slap my.
No, this is actually an important question. My wife warned me to get the seeds out because she said the seeds would increase the spice.
Yeah. So get the seeds out if you're a baby, and leave them in if you are not.
Oh, well, I'm a baby.
See, I told her I was going to wait for you to tell me what to do, and I was just going to listen. So we're seeding, right?
Oh, absolutely. So also, you got to watch out, because did you guys all try one of your jalapenos?
No.
I just dumped it in.
Yeah, mine is fresh from the garden. Shout out to the Aaron Kaleli, the other one.
Oh, heck yeah. So the thing about jalapenos is they can either be really spicy or they can be like a bell pepper.
Mm-hmm.
So I have got a jalapeno plant out in my yard, and it is just a nothing burger. I eat them and I'm like, oh, this is disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had one last year that the whole plant, I got one jalapeno, and it was the spiciest jalapeno I ever had. It was amazing. But so the thing is if your jalapeno has more water, if you water it a ton, you're going to get less of the spice. If you start to get your pepper and you have less water going into the pepper, then there's going to be more capsaicin. So capsaicin is what makes it spicy.
Very interesting. It's kind of like how when, grapes don't get a lot of water and they're stressed a little bit, it'll change the flavor profile of those as well. Interesting.
Okay, so, I mean, should we try it out?
Yeah, so I think let's try it now. Let's talk a little bit more, and then let's try it again.
All right, we're going to call this one the spicy chicken. This can go viral, not just a spicy rosé, but maybe this makes the chicken wine more fun.
I love the way it smells. I love a little green pepper smell in my wine. So to add that to the rosé, I actually think adds a really interesting layer to it.
Guys, my wine is really fun now.
I think it gives more to the body of the wine in this, especially in this one, which had very little to it. It's hitting. It feels thicker, the flavor. If that makes sense.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, there's definitely like one more element of something happening for sure. Yeah.
No, this is. I think we're onto something, y'all. Because I know people are really excited about on the internet about putting jalapenos in their rosé, but at the same time, like I don't want to get a jalapeno and drop it into, Hampton water or my Olema.
So most of the tiki-takis that I was watching, the focus of the jalapeno was to make not great rosés better.
Well, mission accomplished.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was actually thinking I'd like to try this in a little bit of a nicer rosé because I like the flavor that we're getting here. So if you had a better rosé with a little more interesting fruit to it, the jalapeno might even play better with what's in that.
Yeah.
So are we on board with this TikTok trend? Is adding a jalapeno to your rosé an upgrade, or at least a different experience in a good way?
A different experience.
I think it's fun.
It is fun. I will say it's not a downgrade for sure. I'm trying to decide if I just want to eat jalapenos now. Like that's I want to eat the jalapenos out of this.
And they're going to pull in some of the rosé flavor into the jalapeno when you're done.
Yeah, I'm actually totally in on this. I think this is great. I actually am really enjoying it way more than I thought I would. But I like it a lot. I think it makes the chicken wine better.
Absolutely. I mean, the chicken wine was like a blank canvas that you've now elevated. We got the spicy chicken, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first, and stop wasting your wine. You want to take, you want to make a bunch of these. You don't want to spend a bunch of money on like $20 rosés. Make a batch of the spicy chicken with jalapenos and the chicken wine. My goodness. Well done. Gentlemen, I don't know if either of you dropped it into your Fox wine. It does not help.
No, I'm not drinking that again.
Unsalvageable.
All right, y'all. So we just powered through a whole bunch of this. Let's stamp it right now. Let's hit that review.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
Let's start with the easy one real quick, gentlemen. The Fox wine, we don't have to go into big details about this. La Bellevue des Bois, Fox is on the front, runs you about $5. Where are we putting it?
Down the drain. It's just not good. Doesn't smell good, doesn't taste good. If the jalapeno doesn't make it any better, I don't know what will. So don't buy that. Save your $5 for literally anything else.
Take your $5, buy a scratch ticket, hope you win more money to buy a nicer bottle of wine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Not good. Down the drain. It is a waste of your wine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and have words with that gentleman. All right, moving on. So, chicken wine. The redemption episode. What do you think, gentlemen? You both drained it many moons ago. Do you still think it's a drained wine? Colin and Joel.
Mike may have gotten me with the Nana thing here because once again, I will admit it had like a degree of something more happening than I remembered. And perhaps I've always said with my closet, maybe somebody would like this. Maybe there's a market. And it did not make me upset in any way. So I would say, especially looking back now, it's been a year, this would probably align to the back of my closet, Aaron.
That's a move up. That is an improvement. Thank you, Joe. Colin?
Yeah. So am I going to ever drink this again? Probably not. But is it better than I remember it being? Ever so slightly. Yes. Is it totally offensive? No, it's not offensive at all. Is it still pretty watery and uninteresting? Yes. But it's sitting in the sink.
Look at that.
It's sitting in the sink. I just haven't decided to open it and put it down the sink. Like that.
The sink is full of ice and you're getting ready for company.
If that bottle looks at you the wrong way, it's going down the drain.
It's going down. Yeah, that's right. No,
but then if it looks at you the right way,
it's going to the wine fridge.
I'll go. So back to the closet is where this one's going.
All right. So for the folks home, and since we have Mike, wonder where you put this. Down the drain is obviously undrinkable. Closet is like backup wine, break glass if you need it, but not something you go to. A kitchen table is the wine you'd want to put out to share with people. And obviously your wine fridge is like your favorite. Where would you put this wine?
I think I would put it in my cabinet there.
In the closet?
In the closet, sorry.
Yeah.
In the cupboard. Cool. Or in my picnic basket.
Oh, yes.
For a super hot day.
Such a Joel. A Joel.
I like that.
Yeah, but I think Mike is illuminating a problem, guys. It's a problem we have in our tier system. We got to noodle on this and come back because I'm struggling. I don't. To me, I wouldn't put this in my closet because if someone put this out in front of me, I'd drink it. I would drink. It's fine. It's fine. If I went to a barbecue and it was sitting in an ice bucket, I would pour myself a glass of it. If I was just like cooking or something, I would just pour a glass and mindlessly drink it while I was drinking. I wouldn't put it on a table to share with people. I'm not bringing this over to dinner being like, guys, look what I found.
You have to try this.
I also don't think it would last very long if I like hid in my closet. Because if I was just thirsty and wanted something passable, I would grab it pretty quickly. It's not I have stuff in my pantry that has been in my pantry for a while. Like, because it's just like I'm not going to it. So
this wine is like a great let me pour this into the thermos. And let me screw that on and take it to the park.
Yeah. Once again, I love that the highest regards we have for this wine is that it's equivalent to water for us. That's what we're all saying.
Better than water.
Right into what I've been saying for the last year.
People keep jugs of water in their closet for emergencies. This is better than that. All right. We're gonna doodle on this, but I'm gonna say this is like a counter wine. Like I would just grab this and just drink it without thinking. Okay. It's not a closet wine, but it's not a kitchen table wine. It is somewhere in between to me. So Fox, drain, chicken, closet by consensus, chicken with jalapeno, spicy chicken.
The spicy chicken.
Where's spicy chicken go?
Have you guys had another sip now that you let that jalapeno sit in there for a while?
Let me do that.
I haven't sipping on it. My lips are tingly.
Because mine's starting to get the kick in there.
Yeah. The spicier it gets, the more I'm enjoying it. I don't know.
Right? It's so good. It's exciting.
I mean, I think this is gonna. I don't want to sway, but like this would notch my kitchen table piece now, only
Whoa.
because and this is why we needed something in between. This is a conversation right now.
Yeah.
This is like, hey, this crappy wine that everyone's been talking about, try this. Grab that jalapeno over there. Cut that. This is why we need something in the middle, guys. But this is fun. Like, I would do this with people. And isn't that the point of our kitchen table conversation? If someone had a bottle of chicken wine, which next time you go to something, there will be a bottle of chicken wine there somewhere in the vicinity. Next time you go to a party or barbecue, someone has it. Bring a jalapeno.
Yeah, so the chicken wine with the jalapeno is moving to the middle of the closet. It's not all
this
the
is
way
why
in
we
the
need
back.
something else.
Right? It's just kind of like it's still in there. Like it's not getting out of the
Very
closet.
deep
Like
closet.
there's no doubt about that. It's in there.
I still lock the door no matter how hard it tries to escape.
But it is a little bit better than the wine without the jalapeno. What does that say about the wine? I don't know, but I am enjoying it with the jalapeno more. So a little bit of both.
But chucking a jalapeno into your rosé really takes it up a notch.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. Listen, I'm here for it, baby. I'm here for it.
There's a coolness factor. Let me tell you this: when we plopped him in there and we gave him a little swirl and we drank it, I was like, "This is doing nothing for me." There was a little bit more going on. I was, I liked at least the aroma. But when you just called out too, Mike, hey, after it's been sitting around for a little while and I tried it a little bit, I kind of got what you guys were talking about. But I was going to say the same thing you did, Colin. Like it maybe moved from the mess, like the abyss in the back of my closet that I would never even go to anyway, and up to where there's a little bit of light still shining on it. I can see that it's there. That's about it.
All right. So chicken wine, I will say chicken wine redeemed to an extent. It is not down the drain. It is still in our homes. That is, if it was a stray cat, it would be stoked. Okay. So like that's an improvement.
It's a stray chicken. It's very excited.
Can we call it redeemed?
It's still allowed
redeemed-ish?
Yeah,
because like it's not fully redeemed. It's not like we're celebrating this wine now, but it's
our socks are still on. Our socks are not blown off.
They were not.
There hasn't been a massive improvement. I will say for something that is clearly mass produced to X level since we tried it, the fact that it made any improvement at all is kind of cool. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us. Just affirm, don't buy the fox wine. Guess buy the chicken wine if you must. But if you got it and you got to make it better, toss in the jalapeno. Mike, thank you so much for joining us and for spicing up our episode.
Anytime.
Like
it was a blast.
buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Colin, can you tell the folks at home how they can engage with us?
Sure. Yeah. Check us out on Instagram at Stop Wasting Your Wine. Joel is updating the website. So
it is partially updated.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting so close.
StopWastingYourWine.com.
Yep.
So that's exciting. Super excited about that. Love it. And we are on YouTube as well. Check us out there. Stop Wasting Your Wine. And if you like what you hear and you're enjoying the show, tell somebody about it. We'd love to bring some more people into the community. So thanks for listening, as always.
Oh, thanks so much. Until next time, we drop episodes every Tuesday. So hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
And remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye.